What is up, homies? As you can see, I've got a little terror here who's chomping away at me. But I wanted to do a quick video here on discovery. I'm doing this because I just had a one-to-one with a student of mine, really good student is doing incredibly well. But one thing we were discussing is discovery, and obviously it's like an integral bit of every single call. But people do it without being kind of mindful, you know. And one thing I see a lot of is the discovery, and it can be an okay discovery, right? As in, when you listen to it, you're like, okay, yeah, good questions, but it doesn't line up with the pitch, right? Either in the sense that you ask questions, but then you don't use those answers in the pitch, right? And so your questions aren't revolved around your pitch, because if your pitch is nearly always the same, and what I mean by that is you're always pitching the same product, so it doesn't change your pitch. The only thing that really changes would be your language and direction with the pitch according to the prospect. So what I see a lot of is people pitching the same kind of thing, but their discovery isn't linked to it, right? Because what you need to do is go, okay, this is the product, these are the things we solve. So my questions in discovery have to revolve around what I'm pitching. So I can highlight the inefficiencies and what they're facing and the challenges. So when I pitch, I can pitch on how it like literally is a tailored pitch to them, how we can help them in their situation. And the second thing I see a lot of is, as I just highlighted, like, oh, you're a terror. What I see a lot of is people pitching, but and this isn't necessarily a massively bad thing, because you'll still close a lot of people, but people pitching in the same exact way every time. And what happens is you do lose some people because you haven't tailored the pitch to mirror their situation. So you've asked these really good questions, and then when you pitch, it's just more general, right? And people want to feel how instead of like, oh, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you this, you'll be able to do this, you'll be able to do that. That might not resonate with everyone. And you want to resonate it in the most effective way because of what they've said previously, you know. So when we were like selling PR, a major facet, and this was so powerful, is like when you ask people, what are you hoping, you know, PR can help you with, they would have a range of answers. That I want to have, you know, I need to work on my credibility, my awareness, my brand awareness. Right? And there's two examples. When we pitched, I'd pitch the same thing, right? But I would pitch and say, so when we do this and deliver this, this is what will help your brand awareness. This is what will help you gain credibility, right? And I would just change those words depending on the person and kind of what they're looking for. So what I put here might seem like really like stupid, like obvious, but people don't do this. So first I say is like list out all the challenges you and your offer solves, right? Because it's not an endless list, right? Some things will solve more things, right? But a lot of the time you solve like a handful of things. Now those things will be like, some of them will be major, as in fixing that usually has a profound effect. Some of the things you'll fix, but it's like not here nor there, right? You need to understand that, because like these big ones that you fix usually have a bigger outcome, bigger effect on someone's business, aka money-wise. And some of the others are like, listen, like we obviously will fix that and help that, but I also want to say that it might not be the best investment for you because there are better options out there. And you need to just understand that, because that's the trust building aspect of it. And so second would be, once we've listed those out and you've highlighted them, the big ones, you literally want to have them in your mind, because we're going to now search for them in discovery. We want to highlight them. We want the person to be talking about those. It's like so powerful when you know them. You ask, you kind of form your questions around them. Then they talk about them, and then you ask intelligent questions to highlight how big of an impact that is having on them, right? Because then when I pitch, like I can highlight this one more, type thing. Then third, like if present, if there are some things that you see, how much of an issue are they to them, right? Because if people are facing or highlighting multiple issues, they've got mal pain, and you can highlight that. If they're facing surface level stuff, it's like you can highlight it, but it's you know there's not much. It's not, you can't really dig deep on it. So as an example, like I always say, the first question, we want to set a base, we want to set a foundation. I don't see this, a lot of people go like straight at goals. So where are you trying to get to? What's your goal? And it's like sometimes, no, actually quite often the goal is not rooted in, it doesn't have much meaning a lot of the time. Right? I want freedom. Yeah, I want to be able to do what I want. Yeah, I know, I get it. Everyone fucking does. But like, the fact that you're not there, and like we're going to uncover these things, like what if you tried nothing? Oh, okay, well the goal doesn't mean fucking jack shit to you. But as an example, my student said, well, he was speaking to someone, this person wanted to, like, his daughter was going to uni, and he had said he would pay for her tuition fees and stuff like that. Okay, well, there's a big motivation here. The goal actually means something, right? And you'll find as well, the people with the goals where it means something, you'll have seen them try things to make it happen. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if someone faces an issue and they tell you your goal, you're like, oh, seems like a good goal, you want freedom and stuff, what have you tried? Nothing. Yeah, you've uncovered a lie. And one thing I tell people for discovery, guys, is you're not just going through the motions of asking questions, you're literally trying to understand the truth, because people have a facade. They just bullshit you. They do not want to just own, like, they're not going to uncover and talk about their own issues that they're facing, like, as in what the bullshit is. You have to uncover that and highlight it, which puts them in a corner, which makes them, oh shit, like, this guy knows what he's doing, right? And so goals is okay, like, ask someone their goals, but like I always feel it doesn't really, it's not good enough by itself, right? And so I start with the baseline. What kind of challenges, like, and challenges, John, might be the wrong word, you know what I'm saying? What challenges are you facing that you're hoping at least we could help you with, right? And I put an example. Lead gen, that's an issue. Yeah, you're facing lead gen issue, but it's really bad and not booking many calls. Okay, gotcha. Easy, understood. And is that the only issue you're facing? Is that the only problem you are facing, at least in your eyes? Right? And I say that because people will tell you something they're facing. They'll be facing other things in their eyes, but you've got to ask them again if that's it. Else you're not going to uncover the other things. So you want to go, is that it? Right? Because if there's more, we're going to then either, if you're clever, you can just highlight them in your mind, you don't have to write them down. Or if you don't have that type of memory, you just note them down, what they're facing. Because we're going to systematically go through them and basically kind of understand, you're facing this one, how much of an issue it is. This one, how much of an issue is this one? What have you tried for this one? Right? Then once we've got, and a caveat there, guys, is like some people might think they're only facing an issue, but you know from your research at least that a few other things that they're doing currently, like let's say you're speaking to people, you should do a bit of research about who they are and what they're doing, and you might be able to already know some of the issues they're facing that they don't know. You can highlight it as your technical knowledge is higher, right? And so you're able to highlight them. Now you've got to get respect for this. They should have a reason to listen to you. But anyway, we can get into that another time. So then you've got other questions here, right? Is when, what, why, how, right? And you kind of want to go through each issue, right? So like every time someone has an issue, lead gen, got it, that's it, yeah, okay, cool. And like when did lead gen become an issue? Like when did something change for it to become an issue? Like why are you on the call now? Type thing. Because when is so powerful. It was an issue 6 months ago, a year, 2 years ago. I'm seeing red flags. but we uncover it more. Got you. So it became an issue then, right? And okay, so like, what have you already tried to just overcome that? Like, let's go through that together, right? And this highlights more red flags a lot of the time, because it's like, one thing to bear in mind, guys, is you're trying to highlight the bullshit, and you are not afraid to highlight it. Now that can be done in a humorous way. You don't have to be rude, but it's like when you hear someone bullshit, like, this discovery is not just to go through the motions and to carry on. It's to stop when you hear it, to uncover it, because I'm not going to go further. I'm not going to stop at bullshit and carry on, because I'll get more of it. So when you're like, okay, what have you actually tried to overcome that? Like, let's go through that together so we can see like where you might be going wrong. Oh yeah, I really just haven't done anything. Okay, well that's absolute bullshit. That's horseshit. If you're facing an issue, you haven't tried anything. Why would you try? Why would you invest in with someone like us? It sounds like it's not a huge issue for you, because anyone who's facing an issue in a business doesn't go 2 years not trying anything, right? So it shows there's something else to uncover. Yeah. Anyway, and then it's like, why? And the why can be different questions, like, why haven't you tried something? That makes no sense. Or if they have, why didn't it work? And the 3-pointer can be used here, because sometimes when you ask a question like that, it can sound salesy. So you have to add something before or after, or the reason why you ask, so that it helps them understand you're not asking a stupid question, right? You just have to preempt this. So it's like, why didn't it work? You can't just ask that to someone who's sometimes a beginner, because they might not know. So instead of just saying that, preempt the fact that they might not know and say, okay, like, why didn't it work? At least in your eyes, do you have any understanding? Now it becomes not stupid, right? Or you can say something before it. So usually I'd say to people, John, why didn't that work, what you've tried? Now you might not know, I guess that, but it's still worth asking. Do you have an understanding of why it might not have worked? Right? Now it becomes semi-intelligent, because you're just understanding beforehand. Or why, like, our solution now compared to 6 months ago. Right? So there's different whys. And the next one, this is like another, is how much it affects your business. And I said this to my student, is like, just have an example where it's been 2 years and they haven't tried anything, and then you're thinking that you're going to try and understand how much it's affecting their business. You already kind of know. They haven't tried anything. It's gone on 2 years. It can't be affecting you that much, because no one leaves it that long. And so for me, again, the 3-pointer comes in, because I know I would normally ask this, but if I do say it, it sounds salesy and like moronic. And so I would literally just go, hey, John, like, normally in this situation, I would say, how much is like this like actually affecting your business? Sometimes on a monetary value, like with a monetary value. But honestly, I feel a bit stupid saying that, because it can't, like, in my eyes at least, John, you can tell me if I'm wrong, it can't be affecting you that much, because we've had a 2-year gap of this being an issue but nothing's been tried. Right? And do you see how suddenly that becomes an intelligent question? Because you're like speaking all of the things in your head, not just a salesy question, not just going, okay, now how much is it affecting your business, John? Pounds. I want to know in dollars. How much affecting business? Quantify it for me. People don't want to answer that, but they'll answer the truth. John, how much affecting your business? And that might sound stupid, but you haven't done anything in 2 years, and take this with a pinch of salt, but it feels to me it might not be having a massive issue, because else you'd have done something, right? Now that's like, sorry that pause, but anyway, that's how you would uncover it, and that's how you would say it without it being salesy, right? And so you can see, and then I would go to, let's say they've got another issue, not lead gen, but something else. Then I would go through that as well, knowing that when I pitch, I'm going to go through how we help their lead gen and then how we help something else. And at the same time, when I'm asking all these questions, guys, I'm literally thinking, you know how a lot of salespeople say, I'm going to ask you questions to figure out if this is a good fit? You're actually doing that. You're not just saying that. So in a sense, when you say that, they don't believe you. But then when you go, what have you like already tried to, maybe get over that to solve it? And they go, nothing. My brain goes, this is probably not a good investment for you then, right? And I'm going to voice it because I'm going to give them the opening. I'm going to show them the door for them to walk through if they want, because otherwise it's not trustworthy of me. So when I hear it, I'm like, got it. So you haven't tried, you're facing that. I see now, but you haven't tried anything in 2 years. Why haven't you tried something? Got it. Okay, well, John, listen, I want to be super frank with you, because like I can't sit here and just be that sales guy who just sells without like saying that, like what he thinks. Firstly, I know that we could solve all those issues you're facing, no doubt, and probably in a much quicker way than you would like by yourself. However, I can't sit here and say it's a good investment without someone showing that they've tried. Do you know what I mean? Because like, let's say you go and try. What could happen is, number one, you try and it's free and you do solve it. Or number two, you do try, you go through the motions, you can't fix it, and then this becomes a viable option because you have gone out and tried. But with you sat there saying you haven't tried anything, blah, 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 it's hard for me to say, yeah, this is a good investment for you. Do you know what I mean? Now you've uncovered, now this is trust building again, because now that shows them either, it highlights the bullshit and they go, yeah, you're right, yeah, I need to go and do it, right? Knowing they can come back at any point in time, they'll respect you for that. Or they'll say, yeah, listen, I get it, I do get it, but I'm just that type of person where I'm done with my own bullshit and I want to just have the professionals do it, right? And that's called like looking for the no, and then them kind of selling themselves to you. And you possibly want to do that a few times to uncover, okay, they are serious, right? And I will pitch them, right? So that's all I've got for today, folks.